Welcome, Grand Rapids.
Good evening, Grand Rapids. I'm your anchor, Halle.
And I'm your other anchor, Simone. And because we don't have to worry about the FCC canceling us, we've gathered the world, national, and local news you may have missed.
You're welcome, Grand Rapids. This is
NewsFlash! Our top story tonight. ABC pulled Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air last week. And surprisingly, not because one of those kids whose parents pranked them by saying they ate all their Halloween candy grew up and got revenge.
Basically, it's a bunch of not at all veiled transactions between the FCC chairman, the president, and two companies that own the majority of the network affiliates, trying to pretend like they're upset about some horrible, unspecified thing Jimmy said about Charlie Kirk, except he didn't actually say anything about Kirk. What he did say was that this administration was obviously trying to politicize and take advantage of his death, which they are? I don't necessarily want them to be less obvious about it, but maybe the president shouldn't openly brag about it on his public social media accounts.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys see Charlie Kirk's funeral yesterday? It was just like any other normal memorial service. It was televised from an NFL stadium with his grieving widow walking out to pyrotechnics and the president bragging about solving autism. Yeah, just normal memorial service stuff.
You know, the same thing happened when we said goodbye to my precious Meemaw, except we had sparklers in the parking lot and my aunt complained that she did everything by herself. I guess my aunt is Trump in this scenario, which, I mean, that tracks.
Yeah, sounds like it. So I guess Kimmel wasn't actually canceled, but he's been put on an indefinite hiatus with the implied conditions that he should apologize to Kirk's family and donate to Turning Point. But apologize for what? Being one of the first to publicly mourn him and condemn the weaponization of his death? I don't know. What a freaking jerk.
Yeah. They're basically saying, you better go in a corner and think about what you did to hurt the president's feelings. And if you don't apologize adequately, you don't get to prank your family on national television anymore.
We could go on a big rant here about censorship, the erosion of the First Amendment, and why this is happening. But, I mean, Sean would probably love to see that, but he's not here, so we can do whatever we want.
I'm still here.
Oh, well, anyway, that's right. Since NewsFlash isn't really news anyway, and definitely not regulated by the FCC, we would like to take this moment to simultaneously pay tribute to Kimmel's tequila-loving sidekick, Guillermo. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Guillermo, you lovely, lovely man.
We love you.
We love you so much.
And you've done a
You're
lot
the
for
best.
television. And we support you.
We support you. And tequila, that was great.
That was real tequila.
That was real tequila. Genuinely.
In other late night news, Jimmy Fallon, a man so white bread he'll never get canceled, hosted a special show from the Detroit Opera House last week. In other news, hashtag the panda caused a 12-car pileup on Gratchit. And only real Fallon fans will get that reference, so I'm guessing like two of you.
Fallon made sure to check out a Lions game, visit Ford's new lab, and pig out with some Slows Barbecue, a burger with from Miller's Bar in Dearborn, Buddy's Pizza, and She-Wolf Italian Restaurant. Jimmy Fallon, more like Tummy Fillin'. Oh, Sean, that was a great joke.
Nice one there. You know, not to throw shade, those are all fine establishments, but if he wanted a real Detroit experience, he should have visited the Rat Sanctuary bathroom under the Lafayette Coney.
He could have gotten some 3 a.m. World Star grade phone footage at a Detroit 1 Coney, or basically just had any Coney experience.
I would have loved to see him drive down Woodward in a busted-ass Cadillac with 3 wheels, you know, blowing through every single light.
Or, you know, beating the living piss out of the Bears and that traitor, Ben Johnson.
Destroying Anthony Mackie and his friends in an underground rap battle.
Found Nain Rouge and given him a big old noogie.
He could have gotten the concrete porch stolen off his house.
Or perhaps smuggled barrels of liquor across the Canadian border in a Model T.
Honestly, he probably could have gone to the grocery store and run into Kid Rock in the racism section and then finished it all off with some juggalo shit. Like, whoop whoop. Am I right, Jimmy?
In other NBC news, to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Law and Order, a pop-up Dun Dun Diner will open next month. There it is. Will open next month in New York. Offerings include a liberal amount of pepper spray with every meal. Your server will also answer any questions you have about the menu with, I don't know, I never paid much attention to it. Until last week, that is.
China held its largest ever military parade a couple of weeks back with the who's who of special authoritarian guests like Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. But, thankfully, our president, Donald Trump, who is definitely not jealous of all those other leaders, did not feel any FOMO. He didn't even want to go, and it was probably way more lame than the pictures made it look. He should know, pictures always make things look more impressive than in real life.
The Justice Department released 33,000 pages related to the Epstein case, with thousands of pages completely censored. A few days after, House Speaker Mike Johnson said that Trump was actually working as an FBI informant, and that's why he has so many pictures with Jeffrey Epstein. But why would you say that and then still censor the files? That's like saying you're going to release the JFK files, then the House Speaker goes, oh yeah, Trump was an undercover CIA agent in 1963, but all of the files mysteriously disappeared.
I don't know. To me, that's like saying you have no idea where Jimmy Hoffa was buried, but then a sweet Italian Nona in Metro Detroit says, yeah, a man came and dug up my backyard in 1982.
Or it's like the mom from Unknown Number saying, she must have been hacked.
And now, a sentence no one has ever seen or heard. In Palm Springs, California, a swinger hotel with a sex maze has been put up for sale, which some fear may be signaling a decline in the area. Also, a sign of their decline, the number of people willing to spend money on a swinger hotel. Here with a first-hand account of his attraction, please welcome the groundskeeper at the Palm Springs Swinger Sex Hotel maze.
Halle, Simone.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
No mic.
I'm
No.
needed.
Okay.
All right.
Too many of those things near my mouth before. All right.
Well,
All right.
my first question for you is, what is your actual job at this hotel?
So my official job title is landscape artist, but in the biz, I like to refer to it as fluffer and sexnician. That's a portmanteau of sex and technician.
Oh, I know.
Okay, just want to make sure. I basically, my job is to ensure that everything is nice and trim, and that things don't get too dirty, if you know what I mean. Just dirty enough.
Okay. So why exactly is the hotel and maze shutting down?
I don't know. I guess people just don't seem that interested in public and convoluted intercourse anymore. Seems weird. A bunch of prudes. Another thing to blame the asexual Gen Z on, right? Weirdos.
Yeah. Apologizing here, I don't really understand this. How does a sex maze work?
Well, I guess to put it into layman's terms, it's a maze that people have sex in.
Simple as that.
Yep, and I feel like people are overcomplicating it. We used to give people like a ball of yarn so that they could lead their way through and find their way back, but people wound up just using it for other reasons.
I mean,
Tying each other up is what I mean by
yeah.
that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, that's the point. It's supposed to be fun, guys. Sex is fun. Sex in a maze is supposed to be fun. But everyone likes to pretend like it's not that hard, sorry. I mean, it's not that difficult to get through the maze. I mean, we even made it really easy. We put a map of the maze at the top of the entrance, and half the dudes still can't find it.
Wow, I mean,
Ain't that
this
the truth?
it sounds remarkable. I'm just wondering what the demographic is.
Oh, right. Well, so I mean, people caught on quick that this was a pretty special thing, and they started doing these copycat stunts. Like a lot of the neighboring hotels, they started making up like sex paddle boats, sex mini golf, sex bocce ball. That last one is not what you think it is.
Well, it sounds like there's some stiff competition.
Hey. That's gross.
Oh, sorry.
Come on. Thought you were the news. Yeah, but ever since our dominatrix Minotaur quit, the labyrinth just wasn't the same, you know? People wandering aimlessly through this maze with nary a spank or a giant pink feather to be found. So sad.
Okay, wait a minute. So there was a dominatrix Minotaur?
Sorry, can't talk anymore. Gotta go. I gotta go squeegee down the sex shuffleboard court.
All right.
See
Groundskeeper
everybody.
at the Palm Springs Hotel. The sex maze, everybody. A study from MSTEP of Michigan Public School Data has indicated that students with a third grade reading level has fallen to a record low. Now, I'm no teacher, but have they tried picking up a book?
Speaking of books, Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, the least popular Coney in Detroit, defended the ruling on Roe v. Wade in her new book released last month, which is really emblematic of American politics over the last decade. When a politician, or in this case a Supreme Court justice, does something cruel, instead of explaining why they did it, you wait instead several years to buy their book and get the reason. And then they don't even write at a third grade level.
A man in scuba gear stole $20,000 from a Disney Springs restaurant and swam away to escape. Even worse, it's being reported that he also kidnapped Nemo.
The hit TV show that had us all screaming, crying, and throwing up, The Summer I Turned Pretty, had its series finale last week. It's now been announced that a movie is being made with the goal to follow Belly and her boyfriend brothers, her brother boyfriends. She dates two brothers.
Yeah.
So don't worry, there's still time to claim whether you're team white boy with curly hair or team white boy with slightly less curly hair.
At Tech Week, Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak has some advice for Grand Rapids on how to succeed in the tech industry. His advice was, be the co-founder of Apple.
Harry Styles finished the Berlin Marathon this weekend in under 3 hours. And when asked about his success in training, he was quoted saying,
I don't know, I just ran in one direction.